Story time, bitches. This story is from like about 4 or 5 years ago, something like that. Okay, so just giving you some background information before I get to the real part of the story. We went to Florida, and then we went to Disney World. So we were in a line to go to a show, and I made a joke saying like we should make up somebody that we're looking for so we don't have to wait in this long ass line. So I came up with Daniel because it was the first thing that popped into my head. So I started screaming, Daniel, Daniel, where are you, Daniel? And then like some lady was like, oh, like these people were looking at me and shit, and they were like, oh, you can go in front of us, like whatever. So I kept going, and then people just kept letting me go. So then I was like, come on, like to my family, I'm like, let's go, like we're looking for Daniel. So it just became this big ass joke, and then I started feeling bad, so I just stopped. I'm like, all right, we found him, he's right there. Like I said, it was me, my 2 sisters at the time, because it was just me, Kelsey, and Courtney at the time, and then my 2 cousins, Joey, Marina, and my aunt and my uncle. So then one of the days we went out to eat, right, and we went to Friendly's, and I was like gonna pull a prank on my uncle, and I said, this guy named Daniel over here, I said, can you say happy birthday to Daniel? And I pointed to him. And they're like, okay, sure. So then they come out with a little birthday dessert, and they were like, happy birthday, Daniel. Of course, it wasn't his birthday. That was part of the joke. And the fact that I said Daniel, so we were just laughing and having a good time. So, yeah. So then me and my cousin, Joey, the one day, okay, we have a timeshare, a condo thing, and we were by the pool. Me and him were in the jacuzzi, and all of a sudden this little boy went running into the bathroom and then ran out. We didn't think anything of it. A little while later, I believe she was Mexican, right? Mexican, like, old woman who was like, she's the cleaner, she went into the men's room to clean the men's room, and then comes out like 2 seconds later, and she comes over to us, and she starts saying something. We couldn't hear her. We're like, what? She was like, excuse me, did your son shit in the anal? And we're like, me and Joey look at each other and we're like, what the fuck, what? She repeats herself and she's like, did your son shit in the anal? And we're like, no, we don't have a son. She kept asking, she's like, so your son did not shit in the anal? And we're like, no, we don't have a son, we're cousins. And, so yeah, she's like, do you know whose son shits in the anal? We're like, no. So then she walks away. Me and Joey just were fucking dying. We're like, I was like, I don't even know which part was the most disturbing part. I'm not sure if the most disturbing part was the fact that someone's son shit in the urinal, the fact that she thought that me and my cousin had a son, or the fact that we were old enough to have a son that old. So, and then we went to a different restaurant a couple days later, and my cousin was making fun of his dad and tried to embarrass him in front of a different waiter. Like, we're sitting there and he just goes, oh, Daniel, did your son shit in the anal, Daniel? It was probably the funniest fucking shit ever. And people are looking at us like we're fucking crazy. And my uncle just was completely red in the face. It was probably the funniest fucking shit ever. So yeah, that's our story. And she kept asking, she's like, so your son did not shit in the anal? And we're like, no, we don't have a son, we're cousins. And, so yeah, she's like, do you know whose son shits in the anal?